So, for people who don't know you, introduce yourself, and you're from Margate in Kent.
Yeah, bro, I'm from Margate, mate. There ain't many MCs from Margate. Like, I'm one of one. So a lot of guys are doing their thing, but I was lucky enough to sort of break through, have some breakthrough moments. And then I just kept creating moments, you know what I mean, for people. And the more I did, the more people paid attention. And the more popular I noticed myself getting, the harder I worked. And it just seemed to work for me. It was a bit of luck as well. You know what I mean? So I was very lucky in life, I guess.
Sure. I mean, you've just touched on it there. It's kind of a small place, Margate, isn't it?
Very small, bro. You can get to one side. You could run from one side to the other in half an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what was the kind of music influences?
In my musical influences, bro, you got them there on the wall, like Pac, obviously, growing up, listening to Tupac, listening to plenty of I grew up in the 90s, so I was listening to a lot of that era of rap. So the Shady Records era, the Dre 2001 came out, and my early influences were like the early Eminem albums, early Tupac albums. Well, at that point, I caught them on late. I was late to the Tupac party because I was late 90s. You know what I mean? By the time it was 95, 96, when he passed away, I was only 6 years old. So my brothers all introduced me to his music. Growing up, I was just obsessed with that shit.
Sure.
And then, yeah, man, DMX, Eminem. And that was like my 90s experience. And then when it got to the early 2000s, and it was like the Shady Records era, the Game, 50 Cent, like D12, like all that shit. And then my whole style, that's when I was like, oh man, I need to get into rapping. I started rapping. I started coming up with my own lyrics. But it wasn't until I was introduced to UK hip hop that I was like, oh, there's people over here and they sound British. Because a lot of the guys that I used to hear rap, like, would rap, but they'd put on an American accent and stuff. So I just thought we had no identity. But I got introduced to like Skinny Man, Low Key, Akala, English Frank. And then I was like, I stopped listening. I didn't stop, but I found a new love for this kind of new sound of hip hop. It wasn't like what I'd been listening to this whole time. It was kind of, it was underground, and it was like, it had that grit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
No one was trying to appeal to anyone. It was just what rap is in its purest form. So I was in love with that, and I was just like in admiring the fact that you can just be yourself, you know what I mean? You can be a guy from the UK and rap with an English accent. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of identify with that, I'm 35 now, and so I kind of grew up like, I caught Tupac late. Obviously, he passed away when I was in primary school, so I kind of identify with that. But we're in 2021 now, and we're talking early 2000s when you got into the, you see the UK scene. We've got the likes of like Stormy and Lady Leisha, yourself, Low Key, Akala. I think the UK's kind of found itself in the hip hop scene now. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure. There was very many, like, I feel like I've been around, and I've been a fan of UK rap and grime, and I've sort of seen it transcend into popular culture.
Yeah.
And I like to think that, every single person that came before me played a part in that, including me, to sort of get it to this point where it's the most number one listened to music, definitely in this country.
Exactly.
And I'd say, like, the respect we get around the world now is incredible. Like, but yeah, you can really become a millionaire off being a UK rapper, and that was just never a thing. I'm not saying like that's the goal. It's not about money, but you couldn't even fathom the idea of selling 100,000 copies of your album,
Sure.
or getting over 1 million streams. And I get 1 million streams every like 2-3 months. So for me, I'm like, fuck, man, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Like, I'm so grateful for the position that, like, I guess I'm in. Someone's watching over me, you know what I mean? Something's looking out for me, bro, because I'm just like everyone else. I've just worked hard, and there's people that work harder, and you know, and you know, they don't ever get the chances I got. So
Exactly. Can you name a few albums that you was listening to in the 90s from the likes of Tupac?
yeah, I was obviously, I had his greatest hits album, I had the Better Days album,
Sure.
and the way I used to hear a Tupac song and be like, that is a banger, what album's that on? And then I'd have to find it. I'd have to go through all the albums till I find that song, and I'd be like, I didn't even know this album exists. My favorite Tupac album is All Eyes on Me.
Exactly.
I know that was the sort of the gangster phase when he went through that whole Death Row Records, getting shot a couple of times, and he kind of like, I mean, yeah, that was my favorite Tupac album. So I remember All Eyes on Me, boy, the Slim Shady LP,
Sure.
and Devil's Night was one of them.
Yeah.
Brother, I rinsed that album back. The soundtrack to my teenage years, bro.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, like, I just wanna. There was a song in there called Revelation, and it was just all about like how much you hate, like how much I hated school,
Yeah.
and it was just like, it's for me, like being a kid in school, getting that song.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I don't even know if I should be listening to this shit.
I feel that.
Yeah,
Definitely feel that.
But yeah, there's some DMX albums as well. The Great Depression. Then there was X, and then It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. Blood on My Blood, Flesh on My Flesh. Them, they were the albums I was listening to then in the 90s. Sure. Like, I don't even think I listened to anything else. Like, maybe one odd song came through. I was like, that's a banger. But that was on my playlist repeatedly.